Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Nicole, and today we're going to be talking about last week's episode of Salt Lake City while I do my makeup. So that episode was piping hot with the drama at Mary's party. So I can't wait to talk about it with you guys and get your feedback on it and let me know what you guys thought about that episode. But spoiler alert, if you haven't watched it yet, you might want to bookmark this episode for later on. But yeah, don't forget to come back to it. So if that's something that interests you, don't forget to like and subscribe so you can be notified of all my future content. I also do one on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. We open up the episode with Todd and Bronwyn sitting on the patio eating breakfast, and Todd is not happy with Bronwyn and he kind of talks down to her. And I get there's a big age difference between the two of them, for sure. So not saying that it's okay that he talked down to her or anything like that. But his tolerance level is different. And he says, you know, I've never seen you act like that before, Bronwyn. And I was really, you know, upset with your behavior and don't stoop to those girls' levels and yada, yada, yada. And, you know, you could see Bronwyn is hurt that her husband is upset with her, and I get that, because even though they're married, but because of the age gap, I think there's just a different level of respect, I guess, maybe. I don't know how to explain it, but you want to act a certain way. Like, I dated a guy once that was much older than me, and I always called him like the mayor of the town we lived in. It was a little town. And I cared like about my appearance and the way I looked and the way I presented myself. And I think it was because he was older and he was who he was in this town we lived in. So there's like more pressure there, I guess I want to say. I'm using the By Terry bronzer, by the way. And so I could see where, you know, she feels kind of ashamed maybe about her behavior. She's embarrassed about her behavior. I don't want to say ashamed. And you know, like, this is a reality show. Obviously, Todd did not know what he was getting himself into when he signed up for, you know, Real Housewives. And honestly, he probably never even seen an episode of Real Housewives before. But, you know, Bronwyn is like Real Housewives gold, honestly. So I'm really loving Bronwyn this season, and I hope she comes back next season too. Like I said, she's Real Housewives gold for sure. But yeah, Todd's, you know, kind of upset with her, and he tells her, you need to be the bigger person. So we'll see if, you know, she continues to, I don't want to say stoop down to their level at all, but if she continues to engage in the fighting and things like that, which I'm pretty sure she will, because she knows the job. Like, it's a job, right? She knows the dealio. So I'm pretty sure she'll continue to engage. And I mean, you know, when someone's yelling at you and in your face, it's kind of hard not to defend yourself and, you know, raise your voice and walk away, even though, like, of course they tell you that since you're a child, be the bigger person and walk away. But I don't know, I'm just blabbing now. Do you think that Todd is supportive of his wife being on this show, or do you think he's gonna try and talk her out of being on next season? Because I'm pretty sure Andy's gonna want to bring her back. I don't know, let me know what you think in the comment sections about that. I'm loving Mary this season, just have to say. I watched the episode, and I know this is about the most recent episode, but I watched the one where she went to go check on her son in the room with his wife, and that really just made me cry. And not that I can relate or anything like that, but I can't imagine watching your son, you know, have an addiction problem, and feeling helpless, like there's nothing that you can do. Because I'm sure that's exactly how she feels. And she, you know, nobody wants to enable their children. I'm a mom, but it's hard not to. And you want to protect them, and that's her baby, and he's like, what, 18, and he's already married, and now he has an addiction problem. I know that He is in rehab right now after a DUI. They found drugs in his system, I believe, but don't quote me. So yeah, I'm glad that he's in rehab, and I am wishing the best for him and for Mary. And he gets the help that he needs, and he wants the help, and he works on his sobriety. Because sometimes you can go into treatment and, you know, come out and relapse, and, you know, or you're just forced into it because you got in trouble. So yeah, I hope that's not the case for him. But other than that, Mary's bringing it this season. She is so funny. I've always loved Mary. Since season 1, I've watched Salt Lake City throughout the years, on and off. And yeah, I've always loved Mary. So, but yeah, I'm glad to see her actually involved in the cast trips and doing things. I know she didn't go on the couples one, but I get it. Her husband lives, I think, in Florida now. So I wouldn't want to go on a couples trip either, being single, especially, not single, but alone, especially because she would have been the only alone person there. Let's talk about Angie and her dad. So that scene literally made me cry. That was so heartbreaking. I was really nice to see, you know, a sensitive side to Angie, because I don't think Angie she's not one of my favorite people on this show, and I know her and, you know, Mary are best friends. But seeing her open up to her dad like that and talk about the loss of her mother due to alcoholism, alcohol abuse, was really, really heartwarming. And, you know, I can't imagine not growing up with my mom, despite, you know, fighting with her throughout the years and all that stuff. So, yeah, that was really, really sweet to see that side of Angie. And, you know, it made me look at her a little bit differently, for sure. And I could see why she is a little bit more of a helicopter mom to her daughter, right? She doesn't want anything. She wants to be close to her daughter because she didn't have that with her mom, and she wants to be involved in her daughter's life. And I don't think she's really being it like in a helicopter way. I think she just wants to be involved in her daughter's life because her mom wasn't around for her growing up. So I totally get that. I'm using the Valentino. This is a new blush to me. This is the shade number 6. I don't know what it's called, but let me tell you, it is super pigmented. But yeah, let's talk about the dinner party. So Lisa Barlow, I don't know what she's wearing, but do you also think that Lisa Barlow talks in circles a lot? Because I do. She just doesn't make sense sometimes when she's arguing with other people. And honestly, if I were to get into an argument with Lisa Barlow, I would just give up. And because I'd just be so confused on what we were even arguing about. You know, I really don't like Whitney this year, and I am Team Lisa right now. But we'll see what happens with that dynamic, because it looks like the next episode that's coming up, there's some alignment changes. It looks like Heather and Bronwyn start to get along, and maybe Bronwyn has different feelings or starts to be pinned against Whitney. I don't know. We'll see in a couple of days. So, but the dinner party. Mary can throw a party. That is for sure. And it seems like most people understood the assignment, except for Brittany and Lisa. Brittany and Lisa, Brittany didn't get the invitation apparently, because I don't know what she was wearing. And Lisa's jumpsuit, like, yes, it was a Tiffany blue jumpsuit, but come on, I know it's a Tiffany's theme, but Lisa, especially if she already knows that Mary has that jumpsuit and wore that jumpsuit before, like, I don't know, that was a little tacky to wear, but that's just my opinion. Okay, so I think Bronwyn looked the best for sure. The bangs were perfect. Yeah. Meredith, what happened? Who did your hair? You need to fire them because they did an awful job. Those bangs looks like my 8-year-old daughter cut them. And yeah, no, it just was not cute. Talk about the fight between Heather and Brittany. So I'm really glad that Heather decided to be quote unquote the bigger person and kind of like squash the beef with Bronwyn, because I really think that they could be good friends at some point. They just needed to be like, they needed to squash their petty beef, because that's what it was, petty and stupid. So yeah, like I said, I think on the next episode we'll see more of a friendship develop between the two of them, but I could be wrong. And so I'm not going to talk about the fight with Meredith, because I don't know, Meredith is very dramatic to me, and she just likes to fight with people. I feel like because she's too, like, I can't describe the word besides being too dramatic. She's too dramatic, y'all. But Mary kind of did kick Meredith out of her house, because she said, if you're not going to be quiet or you're not going to stop talking over me, I just inhaled some powder, then leave. And you know, Meredith was, instead of just like settling down and stop yelling at Whitney, she continued to argue, and then took it to like, Mary, you're kicking me out of your house, how dare you? Like, I'm hurt, okay, I have to go. Like, really, Meredith, come on, she just told you to chill out and stop fighting at her house at this party. It's supposed to be a nice party. Now y'all didn't even get the gifts that Mary had for you, and they were supposed to be really nice gifts. So yeah. And then she just left. I'm hurt, I gotta go, Mary, I have to go, goodbye. But Whitney, come on, Whitney, why are you snatching someone's phone out of their hands and start scrolling through? Because that's exactly what you're doing. Don't say you were turning up the volume. You were not turning up the volume. You were scrolling, ma'am. I went back and looked several times, and there's many people who agree with me that you were scrolling through her phone. Who does that? Whitney, you're on another level this season. I'm sorry. Like, I used to really like you, especially when you and Heather were close. And not that Whitney would give two shits if I liked her or not in real life, but you know, you are kind of a nasty, like, mean girl a little bit this year, and I don't like it. Like I said, I used to really like Whitney in the earlier seasons. But yeah, so I keep inhaling this powder. Ugh. And then Brittany. I know that Heather said she regrets bringing Brittany on this show now, and I kind of don't blame her, because she's a lot. Like, you guys, what about me? Like, what about you, Brittany? Aren't you just a friend of on the show? Like, come on. She needs a lot of attention. But I did feel bad for her that, you know, she was left out, I guess, of the Palm Springs trip, but I don't know. So do you also feel like Brittany embarrassed herself at the lunch? Because I totally think that she embarrassed herself at the lunch. But, you know, bless her heart, as we say in the South. Oh, yeah, and Jared being in Mary's DMs. Okay, Jared, I'm not sure what he's sliding into her DMs about, but I don't think he's sliding into her DMs like in an inappropriate way, I don't think, because, you know, Mary's married and she's very religious and, you know, respects her marriage, and at least she shows that on TV. So I don't think that it's anything inappropriate, honestly, but we'll, you know, we might find out later on this season, that's for sure. But yeah, so that kind of recaps this episode of Salt Lake City. I kind of jumped around a lot, but really the main focus of the episode was the dinner party, and the dinner party was just a hot mess. I'm sad we didn't get to see the presents that Mary had for everyone, but I am glad to see Heather and Bronwyn make up. And when Bronwyn said to Heather, because it's my card or my damn credit card, I was like, whoa. Yes, ma'am, it is yours. And if you want to put yourself in first class and everybody else in coach, go for it, boo, because it is your money. And it's a nice gesture to even pay for their plane tickets to begin with. Like, I'm not rich, so I don't know if I invite someone on a trip, I have to pay for everything. but they are. So maybe, you know, my mindset is a little bit different. So I could be wrong on that. But yeah, that wraps up my recap for the Salt Lake City episode, and we will see what happens the next episode. I'm really looking forward to it. So yeah, we will see you on the next episode for the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, which premieres tonight, and I'm super excited about that. But until I see you on the next one, take care. Bye-bye.